GameTalk. I have EyeJax with me. Ajax Cambuur 4-0. Our fifth match, 100% score, man. We're on fire, basically. You could say. I'm gonna hear your opinion about the game. Last match before we start with the Champions League as well. We have Rangers upcoming Wednesday. So before we start talking about that, the match today. Takeaways for you.
First of all, still undefeated, baby. All the points still in Amsterdam. 15 points out of 5 matches. That's great, man. I love it. So it was a little bit of a bad start, to be honest. I didn't think it was a great first half. But Bergwijn made it all better. Because that fumble goal and that shot, especially that second goal, they were great. But you could see in the first half, Juan, that I thought the level of play and the amount of the amount of chances we created, they weren't that great. So it wasn't clicking, and fortunately we scored twice. That first half, I didn't think it was that great. But
Why do you think so?
Yeah, we didn't create, Juan. We were not able to create a lot of chances. So I expect, especially with so many Dutch internationals in the first squad against Cambuur, that we usually, roll up. With all due respect, we usually win with great margins against them. I expect them to create at least a lot of chances so that we could score from them, but we didn't actually. It was a great shot from Bergwijn, the second one, and the first one, it was a good assist by Berghuis, who penetrated on the right side of the box. But besides that, Cambuur had maybe more chances than we had in that first half. They had a great shot, actually the first big chance of the game, and I expect in the arena, that we will be dominant, especially against a lower tier team. And I missed that in the first half. So the score didn't reflect the actual play, in my opinion, because 2-0 shows a very comfortable first half. But besides those 2 goals, we weren't that dangerous.
But was it to you? Was it intensity? Was it more clicking with each other? Not having that communication? Because don't forget, Schroeder has been shuffling a little bit throughout the weeks, and now Tadic went to the right wing. Now it seems like that's his new position. Klaassen came in instead of Taylor. He's played a little bit more towards the edge of the box. That means that Berghuis went on Taylor's position. So there are a couple of changes again. Is that an excuse?
I think you cannot. You do not need to search for excuses against Cambuur. Okay. These players are Dutch internationals, Klaassen, Berghuis. They should be able to deliver a certain level of play at the minimum. And especially with Klaassen today, I didn't see it. So this all has to do also with not clicking at the moment, because the lack of chances created. Usually we've had difficult matches against lower tier teams last season, but we would have 20, 25 attempts, a lot of chances, but not able to finish them off sometimes. Today, we didn't create that much. So this is my problem. You could see that with the current setup, how we started the first half, we lack a little bit of depth, speed, and some creativity. And this is difficult because you need to force something against an opponent that just falls back. So you could immediately see, Juan, when that second half started, some fresh faces coming in. Taylor and Karud, they did terrifically, if you ask me. You saw that the whole match changed, and of course, Cambuur has to come. They have to try and force something, to get back in that game. But you could see that there was intensity and players going for it and trying to play combination football and force it. It's such a big difference between that first half, play-wise, and the second half. Yeah. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, but also, if you look at that or you think about that, it's a good sign, because almost everybody that came in the second half, they brought fresh energy. They really wanted to go for it, and prove themselves. So I think, maybe that's also a good sign. It will, because of course, it will give Schroeder a little bit of a headache, but that's what we want. We want also the bench players to really make it tough for the first 11. Now, I want to ask you one question, and we move to the standouts, the players that you want to mention. You mentioned this before. I think it was in our latest extra talk that sometimes you feel that this team, with the current players that are being selected and you mentioned it now as well, we lack a little bit of creativity. And for me, it sounds a little bit strange because if I look at the players in the squad, in the first team, there are players that have creativity. So why are you saying that in your opinion?
Because we have the same type of players, for example, today within the first 11. The only one with like a one-on-one action is Bergwijn. Tadic can do it also, but he just drags the ball and then cuts back and drags the ball and cuts back. But he doesn't really go one-on-one, He tries to force that cross. And you need some players that can force and that can dribble past a certain amount of players. And you could see that only Bergwijn has that ability to do so. The others, maybe Brobbey has it also, but Brobbey is in a certain position within the squad, like the most, the striker position, the one most up front. It's difficult for him to do it, especially when it's crowded. So he's more of a finisher in these kind of matches. You could utilize it more when you play on a counter attack against bigger teams, maybe, and you get some more room to play a fast counter. Then you can utilize him like that. But all the other players, like Klaassen doesn't have it, Tadic does not have it. Only Bergwijn has it. You cannot expect it from Alvarez, although he played pretty decent first half. And Berghuis is able to do it, but it isn't his kind of play, especially not from the 8 position. So you could see with Taylor and Kudus in the second half that you would have 2 players within the squad that can do that. Taylor penetrated the box a few times. He has that, he can accelerate within a move and just go faster and go forward. Kudus dribbled past a few opponents, from which I believe it was Berghuis could shoot also. You can see they have the ability to create sometimes a one-on-one situation for themselves, that when they pass the opponent, that you have more players in front that you can force something. And this is something that is difficult against the opponents that all fall back, and you have to play combination football, what we tried also the first half. And you could see that actually the individual quality from Bergwijn decided it for us, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Look, let's stay positive, right? I mean,
definitely.
Yeah, we are happy.
Definitely.
Standouts. So things that you really like about this game. You can mention players, maybe highlight, whatever you want.
Of course, Bergwijn. It looks like, I tweeted about it also, it looks like he already is at the top level of the eredivisie, which is also logical because he left as player of the year. I believe he did very well when he moved to England. And you could see he became better. Even when not playing there, he's at the top level of the eredivisie. This guy, it always looks like he doesn't even have to go full force, to score a goal.
Let me ask you something about Bergwijn. Very interesting. During the halftime break, they had Maduro as a pundit. And he said, and he started already with this, I'm not going to call it agenda yet because we don't know, but he already saying it's too easy for him. He's not supposed to be in this league. Do you agree with this?
It's difficult. It's difficult because he definitely is one of the top players, and he's accelerating at Ajax. But Haller accelerated also at Ajax last season, And I think he's a fit for the eredivisie. I see him as the eredivisie player. Is this his maximum? No, I do not. I do think he has more in him than only the eredivisie. But fact is, he moved abroad. He went to the PL, and he didn't play that much there, due to injuries or due to the choices of the coach. So sometimes you have to, with all due respect, and I'm not talking club-wise because I think Ajax is bigger than Tottenham, but competition-wise, Premier League and Eredivisie, sometimes you have to take a step back to maybe go to the one of the elite competitions again. And I think he has that potential, but for now, no. Eredivisie is his place to be. He chose for it, and now it's his time to shine. And if he does well, maybe he will earn a transfer again in 1 or 2 years to another competition, and maybe he get more playing time there. But for now, I think the Eredivisie, he is one of the better players there. He's one of the better players, definitely.
Okay. Any other players or highlights you want to mention?
I have to give props to Taylor and Kudus because they showed that they want to play with intensity and they grabbed their chance. Again, Taylor played terrifically. He was one of the best players in the second half. Kudus showed the urgency that he wants to do well in that second half. He even scored a goal. Great assist by Bessie. Nice goal. That were standouts for me. You could see the level of play increasing. And this is what I like about those substitution by Schreuder. You know, at the start of the second half, switch it up a bit. Also keep some fresh players for against the Ranger matchup on Wednesday. So that's awesome. And I have to say, also Conceição getting his minutes. I like it. You see that this guy has balls. It doesn't work out yet, you know, because not every action that he tries is successful. But he tries to go on that one-on-one, and he's not afraid. And when it starts clicking for him, and he develops and gets more minutes, this is the mentality that you should have. You should not be afraid to go and try it. And this guy, he may be little, but he has a lot of courage. So I like that about him. And I have to give one negative also. For me, Klaassen was a ghost again today. I didn't think he played that well, so he was my standout in the negative. The negative standout of the grades I gave, and I think we should expect more from a player of his caliber. He is a Dutch international, especially against Cambuur, and I know you have to have like match rhythm and you need your minutes. But to see, for example, how Kudus performed, how Taylor performed in those 45 minutes when they came in, the urgency, the will that they wanted to prove something, you know, that they should be in the first squad. I missed this with Klaassen today. He wasn't able to show his quality, and especially a player of his caliber should, in my opinion.
Okay, I want to mention two names, just throw them at you. I'm really curious what you think about them. First, I'm going to start off with Bassi. I mean, we've seen now him a couple of games, not a lot, but a couple of games. From what we've seen so far, are you surprised? Are you happy? Are you still in doubt? What's your overall take on Bassi? And I also want you to talk about Wrench on the right side, because he had a very poor preseason, but it seems like he's picking up. It seems. What do you think?
First of all, Bassi, I think it's a great asset to the team. He's strong, he's fast. He can develop in certain areas because his passing isn't up to par always, you know. Sometimes he's a little bit sloppy or isn't used to the passing play yet. So this is an area that he can improve in. But the way he just goes for it in every duel, you know, the fighting spirit, and he's also strong. He's difficult to beat physically, you know, because a lot of those duels, especially within the 16-yard box or on the side, you know, you get into a physical duel, and he's so difficult to get rid of. So this is what I like about him very much, and I think he's a great asset to the team. Maybe his heading ability and passing can improve still a little bit, especially his passing, but he has Timber next to him, and he has Blind the last matches next to him, so he can learn from them. And Wrench, he played a great match today again. I think he was a threat also in the 16-yard box of the opponent. He penetrated a lot. He went deep. And he did his defensive part also pretty well today. I remember one, I believe it was in the second half, one action that he had to track back all the way to the 60-yard box of our own half. And he did a pretty good tackle then to like get the counter out of the way. So, and that was actually not even on his side, you know, that was almost more to the left side of the pitch than the right. So I think he definitely improved last 3 matches. I'm very happy with the improvement that we see with him. But I have to say, also Sanchez showed some great things in the few minutes he got today. So from doubts for the right back position to 2 players that actually start to pick it up. It's a great transition for us, and hopefully they will, especially Rens will keep growing during the season. Yeah.
All right, bro. Looking forward to Rangers. So, are you confident? Are things growing the way you want it to be now with the Champions League, you know, starting? How confident are you against Rangers?
It's difficult. It's that first match of the Champions League. It will always be difficult. I have high hopes that we can get those 3 points. Hopefully, Bessie informs us pretty well on how to play them, because we have the information of him from last seasons. Also, I think Rangers, they got punished today by Celtic. So that doesn't sit well for them. Not a good like last match before the first Champions League match. We did better than that, so more confidence going forward to that Champions League match. And I'm confident that that we will get 3 points, hopefully. But I have to give a shout out to the team and to Schreuder. It may not always seem peachy yet, like clicking everything, but 15 points out of 5 matches. I've heard on television the last time that we accomplished that was 20 years ago under Ronald Koeman. So doesn't matter what we think, if we're negative, if we're positive. That is a great performance on its own, winning those 5 first matches of the competition. So I'm very happy with that, and hopefully we can continue this trend in the Champions League on Wednesday. And I believe it's the same matchup then, so we will do the game talk together, right?
Yeah, man. We're gonna have a talk together, I think. But one more thing, you said props to Schreuder. Yeah. Just from my side, also props to Schreuder that he's rotating a lot. You know that when there's a chance, he rotates. Yeah, it's different than Ten Hag so far.
Definitely, and also now rotates with some different players than the usual suspects. Also, Kudus got 45 minutes today. That's more than the whole season together because he had 29, I believe. So also for him, for his confidence, that he gives a little bit other players also some playing time. Same goes for Klaassen. He may not play well today, in my opinion at least, but he got that 90 minutes, So maybe this will give him that boost when he's needed, maybe in a different match, to be there. So that's a great thing, and a lot better than Ten Hag did with the rotation.